If you have high blood pressure, there is a habit you are probably doing right now. Something so normal, so automatic that you don't even notice you're doing it. And it is quietly working against every medication, every diet chain, and every walk you've taken to bring your numbers down. It's not salt. It's not coffee. And by the time most people find out what it actually is, their doctor has already moved on to the next patient without ever mentioning it. Stay with me for the next few minutes, because I'm going to walk you through exactly what this habit is, why it raises your blood pressure more than people realize, and the simple fix that takes less than 2 minutes a day. Let's start with why this matters. High blood pressure affects more than 1 billion people worldwide, and the frightening part isn't the number, it's the silence. Most people with high blood pressure feel completely fine. No headache, no dizziness, no warning sign at all. That's exactly why doctors call it the silent killer. It doesn't announce itself with pain. It works quietly, year after year, putting strain on your heart, your kidneys, and the blood vessels in your brain, until one day it doesn't ask for permission anymore. It just shows up as a stroke, a heart attack, or kidney failure. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you this because understanding what's actually happening inside your body is the first step to taking control of it, instead of just reacting to a number on a screen. So let's get into what's really going on. Think of your blood vessels like garden hoses. When your heart pumps, it pushes blood through these hoses to every part of your body. If the hose is wide open and flexible, the water your blood flows through with ease and the pressure stays low. But if that hose becomes narrow, stiff, or partially blocked, the same amount of water now has to push through a smaller space, and the pressure inside that hose shoots up. That's essentially what's happening inside your arteries when you have high blood pressure. Your heart is working harder than it should, pushing blood through vessels that have become narrower or stiffer than they used to be. When your doctor gives you two numbers, let's say 140/90, the top number, systolic, is the pressure when your heart beats and pushes blood out. The bottom number, diastolic, is the pressure when your heart rests between beats. Both numbers matter because they tell you how hard your heart and your blood vessels are working, even when you're sitting still doing absolutely nothing. But here's what most people don't realize. Your blood pressure isn't just about your heart. It's deeply connected to something happening in a completely different part of your body, your nervous system. Specifically, a tiny response your body triggers dozens of times a day without you ever noticing. Let's go deeper, because this is where it gets interesting. Your body has a built-in alarm system called the sympathetic nervous system. It's the system responsible for what we commonly call fight or flight. Thousands of years ago, this system kept our ancestors alive. If a predator appeared, this alarm would instantly tighten blood vessels, speed up the heart, and flood the body with stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, all so you could run or fight for your life. The problem is, your body cannot tell the difference between an actual predator and a stressful email, a tense conversation, financial worry, or sitting in traffic. The same alarm goes off. Your blood vessels constrict, your heart rate climbs, your blood pressure spikes. In short bursts, this is completely normal and harmless. But here's the issue. For many people living modern, high-stress lives, this alarm system doesn't get a chance to fully switch off. It stays partially activated throughout the day, which means your blood vessels are staying slightly constricted for hours at a time, every single day. And there is one very specific, very common habit tied to this stress response that most people repeat constantly without even realizing it's happening. Before I reveal it, let's talk about the mistakes people make, because chances are you're making at least one or two of these right now without knowing it. Mistake number 1, only checking your blood pressure at the doctor's office. Many people have something called white coat hypertension, where simply being in a medical setting raises their blood pressure temporarily, giving a false reading. If that's the only time you check, you genuinely don't know what your numbers look like during a normal day. Mistake number 2. Stopping medication the moment numbers look normal. Blood pressure medication doesn't cure high blood pressure, it manages it. The moment you stop, especially without your doctor's guidance, your numbers can climb right back up, sometimes higher than before. Mistake number 3. Trusting a low sodium label without checking the full picture. Many processed foods labeled as healthier still contain surprising amounts of hidden sodium across multiple ingredients, and most people simply don't add it up. Mistake number 4. Ignoring sleep. Poor sleep doesn't just make you tired, it directly interferes with your body's ability to regulate blood pressure overnight. And mistake number 5. The big one, the one almost nobody talks about, is shallow, rapid breathing and breath holding during stress. This is the hidden habit I mentioned at the very beginning, and it's far more powerful than people realize. Here's the truth, the part most doctors don't have time to explain in a 15-minute appointment. When you're stressed, anxious, concentrating hard, or even just hunched over your phone scrolling through bad news, your breathing pattern quietly changes. It becomes shallow, fast, centered in your chest instead of your belly. And many people, without realizing it, briefly hold their breath multiple times throughout the day, during a tense moment in a meeting, while reading a stressful message, even while lifting something or straining during a bowel movement. This pattern is sometimes called email apnea or stress-induced breath holding, and here's why it matters so much for blood pressure specifically. Shallow, rapid breathing keeps your sympathetic nervous system activated. It tells your body, we are still in danger, even when you're just sitting at a desk. Your blood vessels stay slightly constricted. Your heart rate stays slightly elevated. And when you briefly hold your breath, even for a few seconds, you create a temporary but real spike in blood pressure, because trapped air increases pressure in your chest, which then increases pressure in your blood vessels. Do this dozens of times a day, every single day, for years, and you are essentially asking your cardiovascular system to run a low-grade stress response almost constantly. I see this in patients all the time, people who eat reasonably well, who exercise, who take their medication exactly as prescribed, and yet their numbers stay stubbornly high. And when we dig into their daily habits, this pattern shows up again and again. They're doing everything right on paper, but their breathing, the most basic, automatic function in the human body, is working against them all day long. So what can you actually do about this? Let's talk solutions, because awareness without action doesn't lower your blood pressure. The first and most powerful tool is something called slow diaphragmatic breathing, and it takes less than 2 minutes. A few times a day, ideally morning, midday, and evening. Sit comfortably, place one hand on your chest and one on your stomach, and breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4, letting your stomach rise rather than your chest. Hold gently for a count of 2, then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. This simple pattern signals your nervous system to switch out of fight or flight and into a calmer, parasympathetic state, which directly helps relax your blood vessels. Doing this consistently, even briefly, has been shown to meaningfully lower blood pressure readings over time. Second, monitor your blood pressure at home, not just at the doctor's office. Use a validated home monitor. Check it at the same time each day, ideally morning before caffeine and evening before bed, and sit quietly for 5 minutes beforehand. This gives you and your doctor a real picture of what's happening, not just a single snapshot that might be skewed by stress or rushing to your appointment. Third, build in small movement breaks throughout your day. Sitting for long, uninterrupted stretches contributes to the same stiffness in blood vessels we talked about earlier. Standing up and moving for even 2 to 3 minutes every hour helps keep blood flowing efficiently and prevents that gradual tightening. Fourth, protect your sleep like it's part of your treatment plan, because it is. Aim for a consistent bedtime, limit screens in the hour before sleep, and keep your room cool and dark. Poor sleep directly disrupts the hormones that help regulate blood pressure overnight, which is part of why people who sleep poorly often see higher morning readings. And fifth, when it comes to diet, go beyond just cutting salt. Focus on adding potassium-rich foods like leafy greens, bananas, and beans, which help your body balance sodium more effectively. It's not just about removing the bad, it's about adding what helps your blood vessels relax naturally. Now, here's the part I want you to take seriously, not out of fear, but out of respect for what your body is telling you. If this pattern continues unaddressed, the shallow breathing, the constant low-grade stress activation, the skipped monitoring, the inconsistent medication, your blood vessels don't just stay the same. Over months and years, the constant pressure causes them to thicken and stiffen, a process that makes your blood pressure even harder to control over time. Your heart, working overtime against that resistance, can enlarge and weaken. Your kidneys, which rely on steady, healthy blood flow to filter waste from your body, can slowly lose function without you feeling a single symptom until the damage is significant. And the blood vessels in your brain, some of the most delicate in your entire body, become more vulnerable to the kind of sudden rupture or blockage we know as a stroke. This isn't about scaring you into panic. It's about understanding that high blood pressure doesn't shout. It whispers quietly for years, and by the time it shouts, it's often through an emergency room visit that could have been prevented. So let's bring this together. High blood pressure isn't just about salt or weight or family history, even though those matter too. It's deeply connected to how your nervous system responds to daily stress. And one of the most overlooked contributors to that response is something as basic and automatic as how you breathe. Shallow, rapid breathing and unconscious breath holding during stressful moments keep your body in a constant, low-level state of alarm, which keeps your blood vessels tighter and your blood pressure higher than it needs to be. The good news is that this is one of the most fixable pieces of the puzzle. You don't need expensive equipment or a complicated routine. You need awareness of your own breathing, a few minutes a day of intentional slow breathing, consistent home monitoring, regular movement, better sleep, and a diet that supports your blood vessels rather than working against them. None of this replaces your doctor or your medication, but it works alongside them, filling in the gap that a 15-minute appointment simply doesn't have time to cover. You don't need to fear your blood pressure numbers. You need to understand them, and now you do. If this video helped you see your blood pressure in a completely new way, I want to hear from you. Which of these mistakes surprised you the most? Was it the breathing pattern, the home monitoring, or something else entirely? Drop your answer in the comments below, because your experience might be exactly what helps someone else watching this video understand their own health a little better. And if you want more simple doctor-backed explanations like this one, no fear-mongering, no fluff. Just the real science explained in a way that actually makes sense. Make sure you subscribe because new videos like this come out every single week, and your heart will thank you for it.